Stephen, I really like to, just before we finish, I really just like to celebrate your parents. Can we
I've got,
just
a,
spend,
I've got a picture of my dad right next to me. Hold on.
please. Oh, what a handsome young dude. My God. And behind him, that is your mom?
No.
or-
It's just, that's just him walking. I think it's Queen Street. I think he's
Oh,
walking down
cool.
Queen Street.
Wow. He's really good looking. Oh, wow. Probably that's why you get it from him.
And I've got a picture over here. Hold on. God, all these silly tourist photos. There's me and my mum in Hawaii. There's me and my mum on a helicopter in the going to the Grand Canyon.
Wow. I mean, the reason why I want to say that is I felt like if all the parents like your parents, probably, like all the kids who grow up know that their difference would be a lot happier and
I think,
healthier.
yeah. I mean, having a loving, compassionate parents can only be a good thing, right? And I know that not everyone has that, but we have to accept the world for what it is.
Absolutely.
Some people are fortunate with that, some people aren't, but it doesn't. People who come from homes where the parents are not as great as mine, they can still be great people. They can still
Absolutely.
work it out and be survivors and have fantastic lives. It doesn't automatically mean by default that you're going to be screwed up.
No.
You still, people find their way.
My parents are pretty screwed up, so I just want to say that. So
Yeah, but it's true.
I agree.
I mean, even my mum,
Yeah.
her parents were complicated. It was a complicated childhood for my mum, but, she came out all right. My dad was the youngest one out of 4 sisters and a brother. My dad was kind of babied in a way. Like my dad's mother really looked after my dad. So my dad was quite soft, and my dad was very loved by his parents because he was the youngest and his siblings all looked after him. And so my dad in some ways passed that on. My dad was a very loving father. Throughout most of my adult life, he would iron my clothes and clean my room and make my bed.
Oh, wow.
That's what his mum did for him.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, I haven't asked what's their name. What's your father's and mother's name?
his name was Horace John. He went by John, but his name was Horace John, the same as his father's name was called Horace as well. But everyone called him John because it was easier. My parents both grew up in the same street in Sandringham.
Yeah.
Griffiths Road. They grew up 5 houses apart. They knew each other their whole lives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And were you grow up from Sandringham then, or?
No, I grew up in Taupō.
Taupō, yeah.
Because my parents moved down there to open a clothing shop. My father was always in the menswear trade. So he went down there and opened a menswear shop. Yeah.
Awesome. And your mom, what's her name?
Marcia.
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 Yeah. And who are you closer to? Both of them equally close?
Both of them, a little bit different, really. But both very close. My mother was more energetic and going out, so we'd go out. My dad went out as well. He never, but my mum was, we worked together, and me and mum, we were active. Mum was more not, I don't know, she was more fiery and we'd argue and yell at each other more, mum.
More passionate.
But also my mum was she was a businesswoman, business-minded. So, she was a numbers person, and she was energetic and creating things and building businesses and things like that. But my father was more calm, reserved. Like my mum was he had to be calm to let mum do her thing, You can't both be fiery.
No.
So my dad was patient and just, but my father was very affectionate, he would, he had no problem telling me he loved me, never a problem, hug, always huggy, very, it was fantastic. Yeah. But my mum was, I loved my mum and of course as well, equally, but they're different people. So just a different energy between them, but both great.